inflation, right? Inflation is killing everybody, all of us, okay? And it has been killing us for 2-3 years, and the Fed has obviously raised the rates to kill inflation. Well, high cost of living has been the most important financial problem for U.S. families for the third year in a row. Fed, are you listening? This was man-made. I mean, obviously there was a pandemic. Not too many people expected it, obviously, right? But what did the Fed do? The Fed printed $8 trillion, pumped it into the economy. A lot of people sitting home got a lot of money. Well, we're going to talk about that too, where that money went and what's going on now. In 2024, a record 41% of surveyed Americans claimed that the high cost of living / inflation is their largest financial issue. Yes, no, you guys will please share these videos. We're going to put them out individually or share Power Hour. I mean, I know this from my own household. Everything I pay for is up 30, 40, 50, is sometimes doubled, such as insurance rates, car insurance rates, homeowners insurance rates. I live in California, and it's horrible. I mean, am I making more money to keep pace with inflation that I'm experiencing? Absolutely not, right? So it's a double whammy. My earnings power is limited due to inflation. Inflation is like a tax hike to the average American, from food to gasoline to insurances to, I mean, to going out and eating. Go to a movie these days. It's $100 for 2 people if you buy popcorn. I mean, think about this, right? And our earnings have not gone up. In fact, adjusted to inflation, earnings are down in this country for the last 12 years in a row. But what did the Feds do? They don't listen. They just talk, blah, blah, blah. Everything is fine. Everything is fine until it's not fine. Well, if they listen to the average American, I think things will be a lot better. Maybe I'll run for office. Seriously, I'm just so sick and tired of this shit. Anyway, in 2024, 41% of surveyed Americans claimed inflation is a huge problem. This is up from the previous all-time high of 35%. So think about this. People are screaming out for help and saying, we're getting hurt. We don't have enough money. We have to take on other jobs and we have to do other things. And and then we're going to talk about credit cards in a minute. This is up from the previous all-time high of 35% in 2023 and 32% in 2022. So people have been complaining about inflation, and the government goes, so what? I'm like, yeah, so what? Well, now you're going to get in a recession, and then we'll see where that goes. Additionally, high cost of owning or renting a home, which I've talked about the unaffordability of owning a home these days, right? Or renting. I mean, we know what happens if you're renting. You know what happened to your rent. Unless you're in a rent-controlled area, which is very limited, you're paying a lot more, 40, 50% more. Are you making 40, 50% more on your job? Has your paycheck gone up 40, 50%? I don't think so. Additionally, the input to put this into perspective, and here's a graph, which I always, tell you guys, pictures are worth 1,000 words. Even during the 2008 financial crisis, just 18% of Americans saw high cost of living as their number one problem. So from 2008, which was the last black swan event, right, to today, we're gone from 18% to 41%. Many Americans can no longer afford basic necessities. I agree. There's nothing else to say, and there's the chart. There's the chart going back to 2005. 17, 18% are claiming that inflation is hurting them. And look where we are now. Look at that chart. If that was a stock, I would love it. Unfortunately, it's not. On certain charts, by the way, things going from lower left to the upper right is not a good thing. And this is one of those occasions. So this is the first topic. I have like 7, 8 topics today. So, please, the reason is my partner in crime, Chris, is going on vacation. So I have to do everything next week by myself. I'm so used to having him take care of this stuff. So thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Shout out to Chris. Next topic is, let's continue with this topic for a couple more minutes. Many Americans have been placing the burden of inflation, on credit cards. True. I mean, I know people who are buying food with their credit cards now. I mean, how does that make sense? You buy it, you eat it, you're done with it after a day, and then the credit card bills are due, and then 40% interest rates on those credit cards. The loaf of bread you bought is double. I mean, it's just not making sense. Don't do these kind of things. I'm not going to tell you not to eat, obviously, but then please do not buy necessities on credit cards. And when they put the burden on credit cards, Charge-offs are going through the roof. Look at that chart, right? In the 2008 financial crisis, obviously, charge-offs went through the roof. Well, look at the chart right here. I'm circling it on the lower right-hand corner. What's happening? Well, they're going higher. And when the unemployment rate today at 4.3%, you think people are going to pay their credit cards? People are going to get laid off now, right? And look where we are. This is not a good picture, people. This is not how you run a country. This is not how you run a government. I have my gripes with the government, but both sides, I think, have done massive, massive harm to the average American in this country.